Are there times when you are bothered by persistent evil thoughts that eventually lead you to fall into sin? Well, the devil is continually at work, determined to carry more souls away from the Father, attacking us through our thoughts with temptation and deception. Today, we will discuss the different ordinary diabolic attacks and the 8 evil thoughts that the devil uses to win our souls. I'm Veronica Balut Jimenez, and welcome to Who's Calling? Most of us are not aware that there are 8 evil thoughts that could lead to the 7 deadly sins. We are not conscious that demons bombard us daily with evil thoughts that instigate us to commit sin. Tina, not her real name, was one of many people who gave in to their evil thoughts.
Pagkatapos kong mag-high school, kasi meron akong pinsan na sabi niya sa akin kung gusto ko daw magtrabaho dun sa golf course. And then, ako naman, pagkatapos kong mag-high school, pumunta na ako ng Pampanga at dun ako nakipagsapalaran. Pumasok ako bilang caddy or umbrella girl at dun ko nakilala yung matandang politician sa Bulacan. Siya yung nag-sustain sa mga kapatid ko, sa family ko. And natupad nga yung 4 na M na pinapangarap ko sa buhay.
Tina was convinced that an old rich man can pull her out of poverty and change her life completely.
Karoon ako ng ambition na gusto ko lang mag-asawa ng matandang mayaman, madaling mamatay. Kumbaga, para maihahon ko yung family ko sa hirap, yun yung naging way of thinking ko para yumaman ako. Yung pumatol sa matanda. Tapos, yung ganon, pag tinatanong ako sa school ko dati, actually parang naalala ko dati, gusto kong maging nurse. But I choose to, yun nga, pumatol sa 4 na M, matandang mayaman, madaling mamatay, which is hindi na siya galing kay Lord. Dati pa yung mga pangarap ko sa buhay is worldly desire na siya.
So when she met this man at work, she thought that he was the answer to all her problems. Unfortunately, things went south when the man found out something about her.
But at the end of the day, yung matanda na yon, nung dinala niya ako sa bahay niya, ang akala niya kasi virgin pa ako. Kaya siya nagbitaw ng pera. But nung nalaman niya na hindi na pala ako virgin, iniwan din niya ako, binalik niya ako sa pinsan ko. And sinabi niya na hindi na siya virgin, kaya ibabalik ko na siya dito sa inyo. Hindi ko kasi sinabi sa kanya na I'm not virgin anymore. Kaya na-disappoint siya, binalik niya ulit ako sa bahay ng tita ko.
But that experience did not deter Tina from continuing in her quest to get rich quick by finding the right man for her. She was determined no matter the consequences.
Dinala ako sa promotion. Doon nag-start na ginamit ko na yung katawan ko para magkapera. Kasi wala akong ibang trabaho, nasa promotion lang ako. Kasi pupunta na ako ng Japan. Tapos, ayun, habang nandun ako sa promotion, tumatakas ako para i-meet yung lalaki, para meron akong pang-sustain. And then that time, meron din akong boyfriend na bata. Hindi ako naging faithful kasi nung karoon ng opportunity na pupunta na ako ng Japan, iniwan ko siya kasi mas pinili ko yung pangarap ko na yumaman. So, sobrang nasaktan ko yung lalaking nagmahal sa akin ng sobra-sobra. At ayun, nung nakarating na ako ng Japan, nagkaroon ako ng mga relationship doon, pero wala rin naman siyang nangyari. Marami ding beses na naging broken-hearted ako.
Because of the kind of work she was in, Tina was exposed to many lustful thoughts and activities.
So, nung bumalik ako sa Pilipinas, doon na nag-umpisa yung pagkahilig ko sa lust. Kasi nag-work na ako sa Japanese KTV dito sa Pilipinas. And then, every time na dumarating yung mga Japanese na guest ko, meron silang mga pasalubong na toys. Doon na ako parang nagkaroon ng desire na gamitin yung mga yon. Aside sa paggamit ko ng katawan ko para magkapera, doon ako nag-start maging addicted sa masturbation. Hanggang sa talagang habang nanonood pa ako ng porn while I'm doing the toys. So, ganun na ako naging mahilig sa laman. And then, mas more on na nung nagkakaroon ako ng mga ibang relationship na guy na same as me na masyado din obsessed sa sex. Kaya parang doon mas lumalim yung desire ko sa sex and sa masturbation and din sa pornography. Hanggang sa, alam mo yung paulit-ulit, routine na siya ng buhay ko. Pero after kong gawin yun, parang doon lang ako nasasatisfied. Parang pagkatapos nun, parang empty ako. Wala namang patutunguhan, but I still continue to do that because I want to sustain my family too. Kasi part of my being selling my body, part kasi yung mga toys na yon. Actually, while I am doing with guy, with the guest, he's using the vibrator, he's using the toy to me. And then I really love it so much. Sobra talagang umikot na din yung buhay ko sa sex, sa masturbation. I'm still empty. After nun, di ba sabi po nila, kapag after ng partner nyo, you can sleep well. But after that, I cannot sleep. Hanggang sa umaga na hindi pa rin ako makatulog.
Father Winston Cabading is a professor on dogmatic theology and patristics at the University of Santo Tomas in Manila. He explains how man's desire for excess pleasure leads to the 8 evil thoughts. Father, we Catholics are familiar with the 7 capital sins, but not very many people are aware that there are actually 8 fundamental sins and 8 evil thoughts that bring about these sins. Can you explain this to us?
8 evil thoughts would be, first and foremost, gluttony, then lust or unchastity. The third one would be avarice or greed. The fourth one would be worldly sadness. The fifth one would be anger. The sixth one would be spiritual sadness. The seventh would be vainglory. And the eighth would be pride. Now, it was simplified in the Latin West when they changed the following. Well, they retained gluttony, lust. Instead of avarice, they made it into envy. And then anger, sloth, and pride. So you have 7 capital sins eventually. But they are really related in the sense that they start first as temptations, which are anchored on the fundamental weakness of the flawed human nature that we have. The desire for pleasure, traditionally called concupiscence. Now, our understanding as humans is that we are drawn to pleasure, and excess pleasure, that desire for pleasure, leads to concupiscence. If you're going to ask, for example, how do they lead to sin? Gluttony, we all know, in the 8 evil thoughts, gluttony is about excess of food. But it's not about just simply food. It can also be drink. Anything that to fill the stomach, which is very pleasurable, right? The desire of man to fill himself with something to fill in the stomach. The other one is related to our sexual nature, the desire for sexual pleasure, excessive or inordinate. That would be lust. And then from there, you have the desire for material wealth, which is called avarice, excessive desire for material wealth. Now, if you do not have the 3, you fail to get those 3, this leads to worldly sadness, the loss of appetite to live in the world because you are unsuccessful. Because you are unsuccessful in life, in these material things, you become now angry with the situation around you, or with the society that caused you to fail, or with people who probably you think were the causes of your failure. That's where you now have anger. And once you have anger, then you become also angry with God. And that leads to sloth. Sloth means the loss of desire for spiritual growth or relationship with God.
Father Winston points out how through a series of events, man can fall into committing any one of the 7 deadly sins.
First, you were angry. The worldly sadness is you are sad because you did not get material things. When you now enter into sloth, or then that is stopping of your spiritual life. There's no, God does not care, God does not love me. Then from there, if you overcome all those, you enter now into a sense of success. When you don't have problems with money, with food, you don't have problems with love life, you are on top of the world, then there's a possibility of being vainglorious. You think too highly of yourself. You only look at your own beauty, and the rest are inferior to you. Then from vainglory, you are not too far from pride. Pride now will be your in relationship with God. Pride now would be, I am a self-made man. I do not owe anyone, not even God, my success. Then you become proud. And therefore you look at everything from your perspective as something that it's your world, my world. No one contributed this except me. When you put that concept, lust, gluttony, lust, and greed now becomes or envy, the Latins would call it envy. What you do not have, you do not want others to have as well. And when you are envious, it would eventually lead you to rage or anger or hatred. And that is an aversion of people who you think caused you to fail. And anger or hatred or rage would lead you to eventually revenge, the desire to inflict harm on people that you think caused you to fail. From there, you enter into sloth. Sloth would always be that moment that you don't want to live anymore.
Up next, living in wanton disregard for moral values and a life without God, Tina started experiencing strange health problems.
One day, bigla na lang akong nagkasakit. Dinapuan ako ng mga pains na hindi ko alam kung saan bigla na lang nanggaling.
Father Winston says desiring in itself is not bad, but having excessive desires is where the problem begins.
Well, moderation, virtue, is always in the middle, we say. So it's not really wrong to aspire to desire food, good food for that matter. It is when you inordinately desire food non-stop. For example, it is sinful to waste food, especially when people are hungry, right? So it's important, therefore, to make one realize, okay, I will only eat in accordance to what I need, so that I will not throw food. So in that manner, you become moderate in the way you use food or eat food. In the same thing also as sexual intimacy. There are those who would, just desire to have relations with everyone at any time at all, without due regard to propriety or to morality or to modesty, for example. It's just about having sexual pleasure without boundaries. When you are moderate, the virtue is chastity. You do not deny yourself the legitimacy of certain intimacies according to your status in life. Therefore, when you talk about excess, that is where the evil comes in. But once you're still in the level of moderation, then it's not an evil thought at all. Vainglory is really on the level of excess because you think highly of yourself.
Since Tina was living in blatant disregard of her moral values and life without God, she was easily attacked by the demons in an infested house that she visited.
One day, bigla na lang akong nagkasakit. Dinapuan ako ng mga pains na hindi ko alam kung saan bigla na lang nanggaling kasi okay pa naman ako kinabukasan and then bigla na lang akong hindi naging okay. Kasi yun pala, meron kaming dinalaw na bahay na lilipatan namin and then yung bahay na yun is a haunted house pala siya. So doon na siya nag-umpisa na magkasakit yung katawan ko and then dahil walang matrace yung doktor, nagpunta kami sa mga albularyos but yung 9 na albularyo na yun, naging mas lumala yung situation ko hanggang sa talagang iba na talaga yung pati yung mukha ko nag-iba na din yung kulay ko, parang naglalagas na yung buhok ko. Hindi ako gumaling sa albularyo. Kaya naman hopeless na talaga ako noon. Hindi ko na talaga alam yung gagawin namin.
Tina realized that what was happening to her was out of the ordinary and she could not bear it any longer. One day, God showed her the way towards her healing.
But one time, God is really good na nakita ko yung picture ni Father Sikia. And then doon nag-start na I got possessed. Nag-message kami dito sa Archdiocese of Exorcism. Doon namin na nung nag-visit ako doon sa spiritual director ko, ang sabi niya sa akin na hindi ka nagustuhan ng mga spirits dahil nagkaroon ka ng opening na sinful lifestyle. And doon ko lang na-realize doon ko lang nalaman na yung mga ginawa ko dati is sinful to God. Wala talaga akong idea. And then, nung sinabi ng spiritual director ko, parang bigla na lang na I commit myself to Jesus na nag-persevere ako na iwanan ko yung mga makamundong bagay na yun kasi lalo na nung after ng confession ko, after ng assignment ko, nag-iba yung buhay ko, nag-iba yung desires ng puso ko and doon na ako nag-umpisa na I commit myself to Jesus kasi I found the real happiness na siya pala yung nakapag-fulfill ng broken na puso ko, yung sinful lifestyle ko dati, yung mga desire ng puso ko dati, hindi yun yung mahalaga. Ang mahalaga is si Jesus Christ talaga sa puso natin.
Tina's life changed a lot since she consecrated herself to Jesus. She has been healed physically and spiritually and has vowed to share the gospel to others. She now has a different definition of love.
I really dedicate myself to Jesus na I just cannot explain pero I surrender everything to Jesus kasi doon ko nakita yung tunay na nakaligayahan. I had everything before in my life. Yung mga pleasure, lahat yan. Pero nung nakilala ko si Jesus Christ, nabuo yung puso ko kasi hindi pala yun yung kailangan ko dito sa mundo, kung hindi si Jesus Christ. Kaya ngayon, kaya ko nang mabuhay ng walang sex, kaya ko nang mabuhay ng walang mga material things, kaya ko nang mabuhay ng mga walang toys. Kasi what I desire now is to find a guy na who can bring me in heaven. Yung naniniwala sa marriage. Yung dating hindi ko pinapaniwalaan na marriage. Ngayon, isa na ako sa nag-a-advocate na marriage is a sacrament of being faithful to God.
Up next, although temptation is the most common diabolic attack, Father Winston warns that we must be wary as this could lead to something more insidious.
Later on, once we have acquired the taste for sin, the devil need not tempt us directly.
Catholic teaching holds that there are 6 forms of diabolical activity ranging from least to most invasive. The first form is an ordinary diabolic activity generally known as temptation.
On another matter, Father, what are the different ordinary diabolical attacks?
Okay. You say already the word ordinary. Ordinary would mean how usually the evil spirits attack us. And in this context, there's only one: temptation. Now, temptation can occur as regular temptation or demonic temptation. When we say demonic temptation, I'm adding the adjective demonic here, meaning this is an insidious temptation, non-stop. It's not stopping at all.
Although temptation is the most common diabolic attack, Father Winston warns that we must be wary as this could lead to something more insidious.
Father, can you give us examples of the ordinary diabolical attacks?
Okay, that is an interesting question because all temptations initially are always initiated by the evil one. I'll give you an example. A person who is still a kid is devoid of any malice, right? There's nothing there. There is no malice there. You give the person a malicious story, the kid would not understand. When the boy enters enters into puberty, there's something that changes in the person, mentally, spiritually, and everything, such that if you put in something malicious, he would not understand it until something evil has been planted in the heart. And really our understanding spiritually, every temptation initially is instigated by the devil. Later on, once we have acquired the taste for sin, the devil need not tempt us directly. He might just simply move things and allow you to play with it, so that eventually the temptation comes because you tempted yourself.
Father Winston stresses the importance of realizing when we are being tempted and when we need to fight this temptation.
So how do you stop that, Father?
Well, this one really needs discipline. One needs to know how to immediately cut thoughts. I would say, when confessor would say, do not play with impure thoughts. Because people would say, Father, I had an impure thought. That's not a sin. But what did you do with the impure thought? Did you play with the impure thought? Because once you play with the impure thought, then it reacts on your body. And once it reacts on your body, you cannot stop it unless you're so disciplined to do a contrary thing. And once it naturally reacts, it just goes there. So you really need here a strong will. As long as we can see evil objectively, we can resist it. But once we entertain it and our passions are agitated, then the passions will ultimately take over and you will fall.
The envy and pride of the devil cannot bear the sight of souls glorifying the Lord, so he does things to shake our faith. Sometimes we feel that the Lord allows the devil to win, but he only uses the situation we are facing to thwart the boast of Satan and to strengthen our faith. Our Bible verse for this week is from James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves then to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Thank you so much for watching. For your comments and suggestions, you may visit our Facebook page. Join us again next week for another exciting episode on Who's Calling. This has been Veronica Baluit Jimenez saying, everything is possible with God when we call on Him. May God bless us all.